Look at this. Ugh, gross. What's going on, guys? So we got our 2J sitting here on the floor, partially apart. We got to finish disassembling it and get it home, get it all cleaned up, and go ahead and rebuild it. So what we got for it is we got some used GT rods and pistons. We ain't doing nothing that special with it. Like, there's just gonna be some used parts, some new bearings, new rings and stuff like that. And we're just gonna double check and make sure everything's good. But we're not going full blown, all brand new everything. Like, just not the plan with this engine. Maybe on the next one we'll see how this engine goes. But yeah, let's get on it. Let's get this thing torn down the rest of the way. See what kind of damage we got inside the crank. See if any of our bearings are spun or anything like that. I don't think so, but anyways, let's get on it. All right, guys, so we need to find some bolts to hold our engine stand onto our engine. Luckily, I got some Honda bolts floating around here because they're the same pattern as the 2J. That one's too short. That one should be long enough. Yeah, that one's long enough. All right, so we got all of our bolts. Let's go ahead and get this thing on the engine stand. All right, so let's go. All right, let's get it down. All right, guys, we got our 2J up on our stand. Now we can go ahead and work on disassembling this thing. Man, oh man, I could tell this is gonna be a messy teardown. I already spilled oil again. We got a coolant leak on the floor. This is gonna be a messy one for sure. Yeah, it ain't gonna do it. All right, let's flip this thing over and get the oil pan off. Ready? Let's make a mess. Oh man, guys, look at this oil pan. Look how disgusting that is in there. Look at this. Ugh, gross. Absolutely disgusting. But I would pay 200 bucks for this thing. Can't really complain. All right, guys, so as I'm disassembling this, I noticed this piece right here. That is a piece of metal. It honestly looks like a shard from a metal shaving, but I'm not sure what it's from. We're gonna figure that out. All right, guys, so we got our master mechanic here, and she's gonna disassemble this thing. Faster? Okay, you ready? Okay, pull the trigger. Wait, let me see. Yep, pull it. Yep, go. Pull it hard, both hands. Pull it. hard. Here. Go ahead. Go ahead. Well, that is a positive sign that none of the bearings look spun on the rod bearings, and the crank actually looks really good. I mean, other than the outside of it, it's looking kind of disgusting because of not having oil changes. But yeah, let's go ahead and get our main bolts out of here. So, where is that? So yeah, check that pitting out there. Right there, right there, right here. There's a little spot there. Another spot here. There. But yeah, it's just like rust pitted. But nothing's actually scratched, but kind of interesting like that. All right, so I know there's going to be so much crap talked about running the DA across this, running it across the head, and honestly, you guys should, but I really don't care if you guys do or don't. I mean, this is like junkyard style build. I mean, it's all used parts, so I'm not that worried about it. Also, I've never had any issues with doing it like this. This is one of those ones where it's kind of questionable, so I'm going to run the stone across this just to help make sure that this is flat. Same thing with the head. But I've dropped stuff at the machine shop and it not be touched for months. And honestly, I don't have the patience for that. So if I put this together, we have issues with it, I have to take it back apart. I'm sure it's going to be a shorter period of time than it is for me to send something off to the machine shop. Like, I would love to send this block off and go get jack, but I don't have a machine shop that I can count on right now that I can know they can get stuff done. Because I did have a machine shop, they would get stuff done pretty quick, but one of the engines that I put together, they didn't put the cam bearing in the right spot, so it's just kind of one of those things. Like, it is what it is, and I'm just going to make do with what I got. And I mean, you guys know I'm not building this engine to have like for longevity of it. Like, I'm building it for the fun of the game. So like, if something's wrong with it in the long-term part of it, it ain't gonna bother me one bit. We'll go forge rods, pistons, we'll put another motor for it. Like, I don't care. This is just a slap together junkyard style build. So I mean, I do the MLS head gasket, some copper spray, and we'll be good to send it. So anyways, let's go ahead and keep on cleaning everything up. I'm just taking the wire wheel, trying to knock everything off of here. I gotta go through and fill these cylinders up with water and then blow air in the exhaust and the intake ports so I can determine on if any of these valves need to be lapped. All right, guys, to clean this, just use some good old oven cleaner. All right, guys, so this is the block. I mean, there's still some black paint on it. Looks like there's still a little bit of grease right there, but I mean, that's like it. Like, the rest of it's pretty well clean. So we're just gonna go ahead and blow it off. Spray some WD in our cylinders so we don't have to worry about those rusting. All right, guys, time to start the assembly of the sloppy 2J. That's what we're gonna call this thing. We're gonna call this thing the sloppy 2J. Yeah, so I got everything cleaned out. I got the block repainted black, but yeah, I'm trying to start assembling this thing. Alright guys, bunch of cleaning, and prepping our rings. But we're finally ready to start assembling our rings, our rod bearings, and get it together. I also took the stone across this, just to make sure this is still 100% flat. But yeah, we're ready to start putting our rings on, get our pistons inside the engine, and we're pretty much on the home stretch now. I mean, that's like gapping the rings and everything, getting everything clean, like that's a process. Anyways, let's get our rings on. All right guys, we got it assembled and it was a process. I've been working on this thing for a couple hours after work each day. This thing was filthy, so a lot of time cleaning, and it's finally together. There's a few other little things I gotta do, like I still gotta weld fittings into valve covers and then get these painted, but like also like the turbo wasn't fitting. I had to cut here, I'll show you guys. I had to cut a little 1/2-inch spacer out right here so I could space this up enough for the compressor to clear here. So like, it's been a process this whole week, just trying to get this together. But we're finally together. We're gonna just set it in there for now. Wait on mounts, we're gonna adapter plate still. But at least we got this together. Whew, thank God. This has been, it definitely kicked my butt on this one. But also, I went and got a different vehicle. I traded the Can-Am for something else that I think you guys would like better than Can-Am. But yeah, let's get this thing set in here. All right guys, it is finally time to just set it in here. I've been waiting for this day for a little while. So let's get it in here. We can't bolt it in, but I can at least set it down. I can probably get the crank pulley set on the front cross member. I think I have to trim it a little bit too. So at least give us a good idea of how it's gonna fit in there and how it'll look. Yeah, don't mind my wheels on this thing. The wheels on this thing suck. They've been well abused. Needs a new alignment, you know. Yes, the veer's right. You know what? I'm going to switch you guys up over here. So you guys can see, because I gotta stay on the other side, help keep this thing going straight in. Oh yeah, this thing's definitely longer than the LS, that's for sure. Oh, and there we go. That's probably pretty pretty close to where it's gonna sit. So I know I've seen on some mounts they trim this pinch weld right here. So you might have to trim that. But other than that, I mean, it actually fits pretty well. Yeah, that thing looks good with that big old turbo hanging off to the side right there. Boy, oh boy, I can't wait for some mounts to show up and actually mount this thing in here. The adapter plate will be here in a couple days. It's on its way. I'm just waiting on mounts to get a tracking number on that. But yeah, it looks like I'm gonna have to take this compressor housing off right here, cut it off, do a tight 90, just so I can get it, well, probably a little more than a 90, get it over and out this way. Because otherwise we'll be interfering with our brake line and everything right there. But I mean, overall, I mean, doesn't fit bad. All right, guys, so we got a little surprise of parts that showed up today. We got our mounts and we got our adapter plate. So now we get everything in. And I'm gonna go ahead and get these mounts in here just for now. I need to get the adapter plate on without the flywheel adapter, so I can get the transmission up there, because I know for sure that we're gonna have to make some clearance on this thing to get that transmission to fit. So I'm not worried about getting the flywheel part on there. So we'll get the mounts in there so the engine is about where it needs to be. See what we got to do for clearance on our mounts to get that done, and then we'll work on getting our tranny up there. So let's go ahead and get our mounts in there. All right, guys, so we got our mounts in here. They actually work pretty nice. My only complaint was is they didn't come with washers, and that nut would eventually try to get through there, or probably try to pull through there. But I mean, it's a simple fix. If you guys are getting these, darn, I don't remember what brand they are. Excessive mounts for the 2J. That's what brand these are. There's a lot of adjustment to it. So I set everything down and then tighten everything up so everything's in place. So we do have a little bit of tiny room between our heater hoses. So what I'm gonna end up doing, let me see if I can see the focus better, is I'm gonna cut these back and do a tight 90 right out of the firewall for our heater hoses. But this is about where I want it to sit. We can pull these brackets out of here, but our biggest issue is our heater hose behind here. So let me bring this thing up in the air and I will show you guys what kind of clearance we got for our trans. Okay, so this is actually my first time seeing this with the engine sitting here. So you can tell it's pretty close over here. Let me grab the adapter plate. Let's set the adapter plate on there and see. This is gonna be the first time for you guys, first time for me. So I think it goes on like this. Let's line this thing up. Okay, there's one dowel pin. Okay, so we have these lines that are in our way. So let me go ahead and get this bracket out of the way, and then we'll come back and put this on. But yeah, it looks like that pin needs, that pin needs to come down here. So we're hitting right there. So let me go ahead and get these lines out of the way, and then we'll come back to here. Okay, back where we left off. So let's get that dowel pin lined up, and oop, almost dropped it. Okay, so that's the adapter plate on there. And as you can tell, right here, we're gonna get real tight. Also, just like any other swap on a bigger transmission, one of these cars, like T56, AR5, this mount has to come out of here, and I have to drill all the spot welds in this whole tunnel right here and get this excess bracket out of here. And then what we'll do is we'll build a bracket off the bottom of the frame rail right here for it. But honestly, I think it'll fit a lot better than the LS. So if you look right here on this belt housing, it comes out a little bit and then it slips in pretty quick. So like, I think we'll end up clearing. Well, we're not gonna clear. We're gonna have to smash this in regardless. All right, well, let's get to Pound Town, get this thing all clearing so we can get the transmission in there. All right, guys, we got our big hammer to smash this in. Just kidding. We're using this guy. I feel like I should take this adapter plate off. I feel like I'm gonna catch it just slightly. All right, guys, my wife said that she wanted to swing the hammer. Well, here she goes. She says she can hit it harder than me.
This is a workout.
Man, I wish I was not in time lapse right now. I hit myself in the forehead with this thing. Oh boy. Yeah, make sure you guys be careful. Just because you got safety glass on does not mean that it's your forehead safety rated. All right, guys, so I have it set in there. I took the adapter plate off just so I could get everything fitted. I put our flywheel up in here, flex plate, whatever you want to call it, to get the transmission about where I need it set. So, well, actually, let me show you guys. So what happened was Autosport Engineering, they sent me a Jaguar bell housing adapter plate whenever I ordered a Dodge one, and the Dodge adapter or flywheel showed up, but it came with the Jaguar adapter plate. So we're kind of just at a standstill right now until that shows up, but at least I can set this in here. I can get everything kind of positioned. I can get a length of the drive shaft. I can get the drive shaft made up. Transmission lines, I can get the transmission lines made. I can't do a transmission mount yet because I want to make sure it's 100% bolted in and make sure all the angles are correct first. But I mean, we can at least get transmission lines and drive shaft made in the meantime. But it's one of those annoying things that just so happened to happen that I got sent the wrong part. So yeah, we're just gonna make the best of it so we can at least get a lines built. So I'm gonna see if I can find some banjo bolts or fittings for this, so I can do a tight little 90 right off of here. But yeah, so I mean, we had a dented in down here, we had a dented in up here, we had a dented in over here. So yeah, it fits in the FRS, but there's definitely some clearance issues that need to be addressed. But I mean, it's in there. So while trying to get this thing ready for my dad to take a drive, I got a new set of tires on this thing. Found out I gotta do tie rods in on it as well. But found out our wheels are done from powder coat. Check these things out. I did a satin silver. So they came out pretty nice. Let's go ahead and get them on, get our coilovers on, so we can see how it looks. So we'll get the coilovers on, we got the wheels on, but we got a camera problem. And we got parts to fix it. So what we're gonna do now is measure the camber on this, how much we wanna bring it out. So we need to measure what that camber is now and what we need to set it to. And then when we bring it up in the air, we'll be able to measure our rotor and see what degree that is at. And then, so our difference, like, let's say that this is at 86 degrees and we want to bring it to 89. So it's going to be 3 degrees. So when we bring it up, the geometry is going to change. And so if we want to bring it out 3 degrees, and let's say we bring it up and the rotor is sitting at 90 whenever the suspension is, there's no load on the suspension. So then we'll set it at 93 without the suspension load on there. So when we bring it back down, instead of this being at 86, we'll bring it to 89 degrees. So that's just going from 90. So that's what we'll do to get everything set to where we need to do it. We'll measure this side, we'll measure the other side. So to do this, don't have anything real fancy for it, but we're just trying to get it close because the car's gonna go to alignment, but I wanna get the camber close, get the ride height close, because when it goes to alignment, they're not gonna adjust the ride height. They're gonna adjust the camber and the toe and stuff like that. So what we'll do is we'll take our little, let's take the stick because it's a straight edge here. We'll stick it on our rim and we'll see what our rim is sitting at. So our rim is at 87. So 90 degrees is straight up and down, perpendicular with the ground. So what we'll do is slide it up like this and see about where we want our rim. So let's see where 2 degrees would be. So I think that's what I'm going to do is set this to 89 because I would like 1.5 degree camber. So we're going to go ahead and when we put our arms on, we're going to bring our wheel or our rotor out 2 degrees wherever it's sitting. So let's go ahead and get this into the lift and I'll show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so we're going to use our front subframe as a reference point to zero off of. So now we're zeroed. So let's go check the rear of this. And we are at 88, pretty much 89. You can also check it here on this surface since it'll sit better on there. So yeah, we're at 89. So what we'll do is we'll take this and go 2 degrees out from that. So if we're at 89, we need to set this to 91 degrees. So when we set it down, we'll be at 1 degree in when it's sitting on the ground. So that's just how we're doing. So because I could set this to 89, well, it's already set at 89, and when we set it down on the ground, it's going to change. So we just know that we need to add 2 degrees of positive camber to this to straighten the wheel out. So that's what we're going to do. So we'll go ahead and get our arm swapped out, and we'll do the same thing. We'll come back here, check our angle, and get our arm adjusted to where we need it. Okay, so we got our new arm on here. And so because of how this is designed, this has to come off every time we need to do any kind of adjustment. So we don't have a nut on top here, but we do have a push down all the way. But we're right back where we were when we started. So I'm gonna go ahead and adjust this out 1 full turn and see how many degrees it changes over here. So we can kind of calculate on exactly how many turns we need to go. So yeah, let me go ahead and turn that out. So I'm just going to do it. I'm going to tap it on up. We don't like the hammer. Take here. What? You want me to go up? There we go. Here we go. 1.5, 2.5. Let's go 2 turns. Okay, there we go. That was 2 turns out, 1.5. Let's see that stuff. Okay. And we are at... That does not seem right. Oh, I think that's left-hand turns. So 2 turns was a degree. So, okay. Okay, so after a little bit of playing around, so we're at 89.4, but we were 89.4 this way. So, with that being said, we're not at 91. So because this thing goes to 90, so 89 would essentially be our 91. It's just that we're 1 degree past 90 right, well, half a degree. So for this alignment on this car, I want this to be 1 to 1.5 degrees of camber on this car. So right now we are setting it at 1.5 degrees of camber. So technically 1.6, but this is pretty close to what we got going on. I could adjust it out more, but then we're gonna go past, and I would like to get it at least 1 degree just so we're tucked in the wheel well a little bit. So we're just gonna start off with this setting and see where this plants the wheel. Because this is gonna end up turning out to be 1.5 degrees of camber, which on the rear of this car is actually pretty good. Guys, so this is how it's gonna look pretty much. There's still a little bit of weight on that on the lift a little bit, but I mean, this is about the right height it's gonna be at. On the rear, we got a little wider spacer coming for the rear to get the rear to poke out a little bit. It's not bad on how it sits right now, but the front is sticking out a little bit, so we want to match that. But we also got our camber corrected. We're not all cambered in. But yeah, I mean, this is pretty much where we're at. We're going to do some cleaning up, and we got to get some work done to my dad's BMW because he's coming out in a few weeks, and we need to get it ready for him. So we're going to take a little break from the FRS. So I at least want to do a timing belt, make sure all the fuel lines, everything are good. So when he's out here, he can drive it and don't have to worry about it. Because you guys know these cars, fuel lines rotting away, timing belt are an issue on these cars. So we're going to go ahead and take care of those. But let me show you guys what we traded the Can-Am for. We traded it for a 1970 GMC K10. It already has a 6.0 LS, a cam in it, full-wheel drive. So that's our next project that we got going on. Can-Am wasn't that much of a project, so we got ready for this. So anyways, let me flip this thing around so you guys check it out. But yeah, this is it. So full-wheel drive, 6-liter LS with a cam in it, short bed. So I mean, it's a hefty project. Some of you guys might not agree with doing that whole trade, but I've been wanting one of these GMCs with double headlight. So, and you guys all know what GMC stands for, right? Gay Man Chevy. Hell yeah. But yeah. Anyways, we'll get into this a little later. But for now, we got to go ahead and get the timing belt done on this and go over the fuel lines. So let's get it done. All right, guys. So we got this all torn apart. Here's a mark right down here for our time mark, which lines up with this little groove right here. And there's this line right here that's supposed to line up with this line. Anyways, this line lines up with this mark right here. So we're actually 1 tooth off. So we're 1 tooth advanced on our can gear. So it's actually a good thing that I did get in here and to do the timing belt. Plus, I mean, this timing belt was done, I think that looks like 2014, it looks like. So, I mean, that's 12 years ago. The mileage was only like 20,000 miles ago, but how old the belt is, that's the main thing that I'm concerned about. But, yeah, so we got all the parts, so I'm going to go ahead and get this changed out. See if it runs better with putting this timing belt on here. Get everything lined up correctly versus having it off. So, anyways, I'm going to get this done. Alright guys, so I got the timing belt done, got all the coolant hose on, got everything bled, had it there running, I took it around the block, and I come back and I'm like, well, let me just double check the fuel line, because that was one of the things on my list of things to do was redo the fuel line. But I was like, well, I got it running, just got all the coolant bled. I was like, take it for a drive, come back, take a look at it, because I see some fluid leaking from the bottom of the car. Figured it just run off from water. Anyways, check this out. So we got ourselves a split fuel line. Let me see if I can focus on this thing for you guys. So our fuel line is split right there. And the funniest thing about this is, so my dad's car that was like his baby for a long time was a coupe. But anyways, that's what he had when I was growing up. And he let it sit for a while, went to start it, let it sit out there in idle for a while. Anyways, same thing happened. Fuel line got a hole in it, caught the car on fire. We had a hot tub there, taking 5-gallon buckets, going to dump it on the car to put the fire out. But yeah, so like I had that memory in my head. So when I see this fluid leaking on the floor, I was like, well, let me check the fuel line. And sure enough, almost the same thing could have happened. But we're gonna go ahead and take care of that now. But overall, it's fine. Just one of the things I noticed, this thing sucks for power, like absolutely gutless. So my dad's coming in a month to just come down and visit and help take another vehicle back for one of my friends. And he decided that he's not gonna take it then. So I think come spring, he's coming back out, and I think we're gonna have to trouble this thing by then. Like, it is gutless right now, so we at least need to do something about that. But yeah, let me go ahead and take care of this fuel line, so we don't have to worry about the car catching on fire. Alright guys, that's gonna do it for this video. But don't forget, go check out Debbie's Garage channel. There's a Civic on there that is being given away. And don't forget to go get some merch while you can so you guys don't miss out. He's almost done painting it. And after it's done being painted, it's going to go in the dyno and then it's going to be given away. So go check it out before it's too late. But anyways, see you guys on the next one.